opening statement maybe for them?
Yeah, a couple things jump out. One, we forced 22 turnovers, and two, we got 18 offensive rebounds. And so those two stats allow us to win the possession battle and are a reflection of the effort that our guys are playing with. Were we perfect? No, we didn't shoot the ball as well as we're capable of, both from the free throw line and the three ball. And there's some things I think to Utah Tech's credit that they did that gave us a first look at this season, that some teams have, that they tried some things that we haven't seen yet. So that'll, I think, help us learn more about ourselves, allow us to give our guys a better chance next time.
So I got a follow-up on that, the 22 turnovers. I asked a couple of the guys earlier. When I came to visit you guys at the beginning of the season, you guys were pretty adamant about how much of a family feel this team had.
Yeah.
To be able to have such a dominant game in front of course, Jalen Williams as he comes in and gets his jersey retired. What are you building here with this specific team, and how, proud are you to have an 8-1 start? I know it's a long season.
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to be dismissive or to give you a loaded coach speak, but we try our best just to be in the moment. There's so much uncertainty, and it does us no good to be down the road or in the back. Like even at shoot around today, we lost our leading scorer. We didn't know he wasn't going to play until shoot around. So we stay in the present moment. We try to learn from every experience. We try to get better every day. Focus on the things we can control, some we can't. But the real joy is in the journey, and the real joy is the relationships with these guys. If you spend any time whatsoever with our players, they would become your favorite team, regardless of where you're from or what your alma mater is. We have amazing young guys on our team that I am very privileged to coach. And those guys are, responsible for the culture. It's all about them. And right now, they genuinely like each other. They enjoy each other's company. They celebrate for each other. There's no selfishness, which is really a great thing to be a part of.
Coach, I know 9 games is a super large sample size. When you look to this 8-1 start, what are the things that jump out to you as being the biggest strengths of this team so far, and what are the biggest things that you'd like to see out of it?
Yeah, the things that have been positives are the two things that we can control the most, and that is attitude and effort. Those two are clearly our greatest strengths to date. We have to get better at everything. 9 games into the season with a relatively new team and a very young team. There's no area that we have polished, sitting on a mantle saying we got that down. There's no category that would fit into that box.
Anything else, Coach? Yeah, go ahead.
Double-digit scores tonight. How did you feel about the unselfishness of this group?
Yeah, another number I failed to mention that, fits your question perfectly is we had 26 assists on 36 field goals. And to your point, we ended up with 5, 6, 7 players out of the 9 that played in double figures. And so that's good team basketball. And 26 assists on 36 field goals is admirable.
Obviously without Christian tonight, but he's taken a pretty sizable leap between being a true freshman and now as a redshirt sophomore. Just what is the biggest area you've seen him grow specifically on the offensive end?
He's advanced on a broad base front. And the thing about Christian is not only is he flourishing offensively right now, but he has established himself as a tremendous defensive player. He is a key stone to our defensive force. And I think he's a complete player. He impacts winning in a multitude of ways.
Coach, you mentioned you had 20, you forced 22 turnovers tonight. Besides your defense, what steps do you think you'll need to take to ensure you get a bid in the tournament?
What's that?
To ensure a bid in that NCAA tournament in March?
We can't do anything to do that. I mean, we can't. All we could do is play the next game and try to win as many as we can. There's nothing more or nothing less that we could do. Keep working as hard as we can to learn, to improve, and try to win as many games as we possibly can. And that's all we could do. And by the way, that's all anyone could do.
Is it all tough to coach on a night like this when there's kind of the emotional stuff with Jalen being back and the halftime
Not
scores?
really. We want there to be interest. We want there to be electricity in the air. The players thrive on that. They love that. They want to play in front of crowds. They want to play when there's energy in the building. So we welcome that. We really do.
And that was Garland's first start, kind of coming off the bench to begin this season. I think he's talked about how, in the G League, it's a bit of a different game between there and here. How have you seen him just over the course of this, again, kind of small sample size, grow into the college game?
The supposition by many was because he was going from the G League or the professional minor leagues to college that somehow he would be immune from going through a normal transition. And really that's an unfounded supposition, and it's not fair to him. Most all of us go through some measure of a transition anytime we experience something totally new. When you're a freshman in college, all of a sudden are away from home the first time, or you take a new job, even if you're very qualified, there's typically a transition, right? And it's no different for him. But he has maintained a great attitude. He has enriched our culture a great deal. And he has contributed to the good start that our team is enjoying. And I think his best days are ahead of him. And, in fairness, when you look at his journey and his path, as a young man, he has traveled a road that few of us could have. Okay? And he's done it with grace. He's overcome a significant injury to his ankle. He's done it, without family present. There's just so many things that go into it, right? And so I just have great admiration for him. He has a beautiful spirit. He greets everybody. He always is wearing a smile. We all can learn a lot from him, I think.
Anything else? Last one here.
Yeah, Coach, do you have an injury status for Hammond and recent Hammond, your leading scorer, was out?
Yeah, Hammond right now will be evaluated tomorrow. Ensminger is making progress. Right now it's hard to say for certain how long he'll be out. And as you know, just to complete the circuit, we lost Chris Taggio to season-ending surgery, and Garrick Norman injured his foot the first day of practice and is still yet to play. So this team has early in the season, stepped up to the challenge with a considerable amount of adversity.
Yeah, to kind of follow up on that, can you just speak to the resilience of the team to be able to continue to string along this many wins given those injuries?
Yeah, we have a number of players who are more than capable. They play hard and play together and give themselves a chance. And the guys, a real part of the resiliency comes from the guys who have been injured, like Garrick and Chris. I mean, those guys are still impacting winning, even though they're not playing, with their leadership, with their spirit, you know, the way they celebrate their teammates. You know, they're adding positive dynamics to the effort. You know, it's so they may not be in the box score, but those guys, to speak to the resiliency part of the attitude part, are still contributing in positive ways.
Okay, Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.